Hi there again, BookTube. Welcome back to my channel. Lola here, and this is my July wrap up. This month I have done the BookTube-a-thon, so first off I'm going to get to the books I read for the BookTube-a-thon. First up was A Vile Village by Lemony Snicket, part of a series of unfortunate events. I absolutely love this book, it's absolutely brilliant. As I said before, I really like how Sunny, the baby of the book, is adapting as a character throughout the book. She's actually becoming a toddler now, her words are adapting, she's walking more. Well, she took a few steps in this book, her first steps, so I'm really happy how the characters progress, especially Sunny as a baby. I find it really rare that you would actually see a baby as a character with proper personality in a book, so I really enjoyed that in this book. And I would say that's the biggest thing. The story's progressing really well. You're finding out more about VFD, which is the big thing towards the middle to end of the series. So I'm going to read the 8th one next because I'm really enjoying it. Another book I read for the BookTube-a-thon was The Theogony by Hesiod, and I've read this before. It was just a reread. It's only 33 pages long, and it's basically just something you can read if you want to know about the myths from the gods and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I really enjoy it, and if you read some of it and you want to look up the myth, you can. It just kind of vaguely goes through all the gods' names and the goddesses' names and the heroes' names and the monsters' names, and a vague idea of what they do, so it's really good for if you want to learn your mythology. Another book I read for the BookTube-a-thon was The Sleeping Prince by Melinda Salisbury. What a wonderful author. I've just lent my partner The Senator's Daughter for him to read because he really liked the concept of it. So I really enjoyed The Sleeping Prince. I like the idea of it. I remember at the very beginning I thought that it was a different book entirely and it was just set in the same world. It kind of is, it kind of isn't. It all comes together at the end. So I was really happy about that, because I wanted to know what happened to the main character of The Senator's Daughter. So I was really happy that that all came together and that I know now what happens. I also read The Debt of Bones by Terry Goodkind, which was my favourite author of all time. He still is my favourite author of all time, rather. It's all about Zed. If you've read the Sword of Truth series, please don't forget about this little gem. It's just a little teeny weeny little book, and it's all about Zed when he was younger and helping somebody out with a few bits and bobs, and it's all about how he sets up the boundaries between Westland, the Midlands and Dahara. So I absolutely loved it, and I would recommend the Sword of Truth series to anybody because it's my favourite series and obviously I'm going to recommend it. The other book I read this month was The Deathly Hallows, Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows by J.K. Rowling. It was a reread, I've read it before and it was a while ago, so I really enjoyed reading it again and just remembering everything that happened. I pretty much cried all the way through the book because it's really sad and people die and it's not very nice because some of my favourite characters go. So I would really recommend the Harry Potter series to anybody who hasn't read it out there. It's such a wonderful story, and please read it because it is for anyone, even though they're meant to be kids books. I think as you go further on in the series they get darker and the more teenage adult kind of area. So, and then the other two books I read this month, I've read The Battle of the Labyrinth, and I've also just now finished The Last Olympian, and they are by Rick Riordan. They are the last two books of the Percy Jackson series and I adored them. They were fantastic and it was such an amazing ending to the story, and I can't believe I finally finished it. Oh my gosh. I absolutely love the series. I love the Greek mythology. I love that Rick Riordan studied for this, and you can tell that he studied for this. He knows who all the gods and goddesses are, he knows the minor goddesses and he gives them all respect, and kind of lip service in the books, I suppose. And I absolutely love the ending. It's fantastic. So yeah, that is literally everything I've read this month, and I've really enjoyed myself. It is not everything I've read this month. I also read The Daughter of the Empire by Raymond D. Feist, which was also a fantastic book. Very political, intrigue, fantasy type book. Another wonderful write by Raymond D. Feist, as well as the other author, who I can't remember the name of right now, but he did co-write it with another author. And it was so good, it was so good. It was about this one woman called Mara, and she was living a simple life in a temple. And then all of a sudden she's out to take over her father's and brother's kingdom because they've both passed away. And so it's her learning how to lead a kingdom and how to kind of go through life in that kind of way. So there's 2 more books to the trilogy, and I do want to read them at some point, so I'll borrow them from the library too, because that's the only reason I'm not showing it right now, is because I borrowed it from the library and took it back. But yes, I found it absolutely amazing. It was a wonderful read, and I would suggest all these books to you if you like fantasy, if you like mythology. All these books I've said to you today are amazing. The Lemony Snicket books are child books, but they're so good. There's things you see in there that you wouldn't see as a child, so I'm reading them for the first time as an adult and I'm loving them. So all these books I'd recommend. I've had a really good reading month this month, and I owe that to Booktubeathon. I probably wouldn't have done it without it. And I hope you enjoyed my video. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye bye!